All right, guys. So we're going to start tonight in a classic yoga style here, yoga squat. Now, if this is a big pose for you, you might want to sit on a block or two. We're not going to be here too long, and I know this can be a really big stretch for some of us. If it's too much, what you're going to do is start in child pose. They're actually quite similar, right? So if you want a little softer start here, guys, you're going to go here. See how the forehead comes to the mat, the buttocks to the heels, and you're kind of melting into the floor. But if you want a little bit more of an assertive start here, elbows can push inside the knees, chest can lift. And if you're feeling really good, there's going to be no block, okay? Let's start to squeeze that pelvic floor, the perineum, bring in some subtle muscular core awareness in. Let's just take a few deep breaths here, okay? Nice big inhale in the nose. A nice big exhale. Starting to connect to your breath. Become a little bit more internally present and aware. Let's take about another good 30, 45 seconds here. Trying to lift that chest. Again, relax the shoulders from the ears. If you're new to yoga, I know this is a pretty tough one. So if you need to exit position early, that's fine. All right. I hope you guys, if you have any injuries going on, you'll, giving you a little responsibility to, back off, modify. If you ever need to send me a message, throw it right in the chat there. It pops up on my screen and I'll answer you. All right. All right. Big inhale here, guys. Big exhale. Now, if you're in child pose, or we're going to be in tabletop, so you can step your feet back. And now we want to think kind of loosening up the body. And no better place to start than the cat-cow, getting the spine, the pelvic tilt, the neck. So hands are right under those shoulders, hips are over the knees. Big inhale, we're going to arch that back. I do want you to get the neck involved, lifting the chin. Nice big exhale, push through the hands, the feet, round, tuck the chin. Big inhale. See if you can close your eyes now. Start to feel the spinal column, the back. Big exhale, round the spine. Start to spread the upper back, stretching. A few more here, guys. Big inhale. And big exhale. You can make cat-cow very soft, right? You can really make this really easy. Or the other side of the spectrum, you could squeeze tighter, stronger. It depends on your intention, right? How you're feeling. I wouldn't say one is better than the other. You can also do it a little faster, right? In the Kundalini yoga, we go really fast in the cat-cow for a good 10 or 12 minutes. And that also has a lot of nice energizing effects, all right? Here in the end yogis, if you peek up at me, watch how I drop my abdomen low. See how I bring the ribs to the side? Now I'm starting to draw this big kind of circular motion, and I'm starting to bend the elbows. I'm getting outside the lines. Yogis, our body's designed to move. Think of it like we're looking at ways our bodies are stiffening up. We don't want to, let our body get into a space where it's difficult to move, right? We're making sure we're maintaining our body's ability to freely move. So if you need one more demo, just watch me. I draw this big kind of circle with my mid body, and I'm starting to even bend the elbows. My tailbone and hips are also drawing kind of circular motions. Think about just moving in ways that feel good, moving in ways your body normally isn't. Get some blood flow flushing throughout that body. So a lot of our movements are going to be quite linear and structured, but then you come into these spaces, almost a more artistic, dance-like, expression. Our next exercise is the down dog, toes tucked, hips up and back. So again, if you're new to yoga, this is pretty difficult, right? We are trying to lift those hips up and back, bring those heels more toward the floor. So it's not plank, right? You're not here. You're doing kind of front plank, lifting those sit bones up and back. I do want you to pedal those feet out a little bit, just kind of stretch your big toe out, maybe press the opposite heel down. Again, shaking your head yes and no. Anytime you feel good, you could go upside down or even add chaturangas already. We'll get there, but again, I really want to hammer home the idea of make this practice your own. Okay, it's okay to change it up a lot, especially you very seasoned yoga practitioners and athletes, right? Add your own personality into the practice. Okay, big inhale here. I'm going to keep moving forward here. We're going to drop down to those knees. Okay, turn the top of the feet down, kind of a classic start here. Big inhale, right leg's gonna lift, left arm's gonna reach forward. So think of this as core work. This turns on phasic and stabilizers, tonic muscles. Okay, big inhale, we're gonna lift and lengthen. Classic yoga, big exhale, round and squeeze. Big inhale, we're gonna reach it forward. You can even bend the heel to the butt, you want a little extra. Big exhale, squeeze it in. But still, inhale, reach that leg out and straight, and then bend it. Exhale, squeeze it under. So my left elbow and right knee, you're squeezing under the body together, okay? Think about squeezing the abs, almost a second round of cat-cow. Make sure you are lengthening that leg up and back that arm forward, okay? You do about 6 to 12. After that, you bring your right knee, left hand down, maybe shake it out for a moment. And then the left leg's gonna lift. I'm kind of moving through at a pace here. You know, we're calling this mellow yoga. Not gonna be too structured or rigid on the amount or anything like that. Right arm forward, take a moment here. Just notice, guys, I gotta get strong in my left hand and press that right foot down to stabilize my body. Okay, big inhale, big exhale. Inhale, exhale. Take a few more. Again, we don't have to do it perfect, guys. I don't want to express that idea like yoga has to be perfect, perfect alignment. That's part of it. You know, we are analyzing, studying the self, but we also want to be a little lighthearted. Let's keep the, over analytical side a little relaxed tonight. Mellow yoga. Yeah, that looks good, guys. Just make sure, again, like whatever hand's on the ground, you got to start gripping the floor. We don't want to get lazy in those fingers. That's not going to stabilize our wrist well. So grip that left hand. Most of us have that left hand down. That's going to help take a little pressure out of the wrist, keep it in the muscles, all right? Now, please take your time, right? We're going to be back in tabletop position. Let's give those wrists a break. Let's come down to our forearms for a nice first plank hold. Now, in gentle yoga, we got a plank like this. See how I'm on the knees and the forearms, hips about as high as the shoulders? I bring my hips a little bit more forward. There, if you want an easy plank, that's a nice one. If you feel good, you tuck your toes, you know what to do, you hover your knees. So first, really, full body challenge here. Try to spread the upper back, work on engaging your butt and your thighs. So now we're activating. We just moved a lot in those last couple, exercises there. A little bit more still now. If you want to do high plank, if you want to add push-ups or anything like that, those all kind of fit the category right now. Just take a couple of deep more breaths, turn on that butt, turn on those thighs, spread the back, pull the belly in a little bit, maybe lengthen the back of your neck. Yeah, some of these are resting. Just, come back and join us whenever you can if you feel like it. And some of us, looking really strong, you can hold longer, right? Last few breaths. When in doubt, plank's such a fantastic full body exercise. Not too great for really turning on your abs. But we call it the compound or the triple chain where the arms, the core, and the legs work together because that's how your body's designed, right? We never really need isolated work in life. All right, big inhale. Let's keep it kind of mellow. Let's bring it down to the chest. Look how I kind of windshield light. All right, so we're gonna go 2 mobility drills. There is strength, but it is a little bit more flexibility, right? So we're gonna slide our hands underneath our ribs. Multi-level, right? Big inhale. Notice how I lift my chest a little bit. That's where I start. It's called gentle cobra. I'm not over pushing the stretch. Exhale, I'm gonna lower down. Nice big inhale lifts me up. I am trying to activate my legs still. Good idea to always kind of, keep some muscular activation in the legs. Now, as I get more warm, I'll use those arms and lift up a little higher. But again, you don't need to. And remember that I'm demonstrating so you can see it. All right, don't feel like you gotta go crazy just because I'm showing you something, okay? I want you to try to stretch the abdomen here. All right. Feel the psoas too, right? This big muscle that's running on the inner thigh, the hip flexor. Make sure you're driving your pubic bone down. Don't let the lower back arch. Take a few more breaths up and down here. Looks good, everyone. Should feel good. It might be difficult on some days, right? Maybe you stay a little bit lower on those days. Don't worry, we're gonna do a couple chaturangas here coming up, but for now we'll keep it in cobra land. If you want to hold one last round, down low or up high, go ahead. Hug the elbows in, lift the chest up. Okay, big inhale, guys. Take your time, right? If you need a quick child pose, you can press your butt to your heels. Again, mellow yoga on Wednesdays, so yeah, just move through at your pace, no big deal. Tuck toes, lift those hips up and back. We're gonna meet in down facing dog. You know, and if I was practicing on my own, I'm noticing my right hamstring is very sore today. You know, I've been running, and I would take extra time in the down dog because that's what my body's telling me. And I'm telling you that because I'm showing you, I'm thinking out loud how I would make it personal. Let's walk our hands to the back of the mat. Maybe take an inhale with the hands on the shins. Get that spinal length. So think of this like core work here, guys. Notice how I lean the weight in the toes and I lengthen my chest forward. I'm gonna feel that in my hamstrings. And then I take that forward fold. Couple options, you know what to do. Intertwine your forearms, a little sway. You want a big shoulder stretch. Throw those arms up and over. Take a few breaths there. Your forward fold. You know, regardless, it is a good idea to bend the knees, especially if there's any kind of tightness, tension. Bending softens a little bit more. Soften the back of the neck. Maybe big inhale in your nose. Nice big exhale. All right, yogis, now I'm gonna keep moving forward. We're just painting our own picture here, and I'm just the lead. So we're gonna drop our butts. We're gonna come right into chair pose, and we're gonna do what's called a chair kriya. It's good for strength, but so fantastic for waking up the body, also creating some flexibility. So we're gonna inhale, reach our arms up, and then sit nice and low. Now watch what I do. I'm gonna keep those elbows in. I'm gonna push my hips forward and pull my elbows back. So look at that, it's almost like a cobra, right? Nice big inhale. Let's find a nice chair. Notice that you can take a little bounce there, get those legs going. Big exhale. I want you to literally pull those elbows back and behind. Go ahead, big inhale. Big exhale. We just call this air squatting or squat kriya. Take a few squats. Now, if you're working on your flexibility, remember we started in yoga squat, you can go a little deeper, but you don't need to, right? If you're feeling like it's a little much, you go here. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. It doesn't need to be a lot, yogis, to be good for you. You know, you see yoga in the modern, it's kind of, especially in the West here, you see all the fancy yoga poses and the flexibility, the gymnasts. You know, you don't need to do all that. You know, that's one side of yoga, the fun, the challenging, kind of creative side. It can be so much more simple. Now listen, guys, let's stand up nice and tall. Take a big inhale. Right hand grabs left wrist, feet step together. Okay, big inhale. I'm just gonna reach up nice and tall. I'm gonna traction. So use my right hand to pull my left arm up, big inhale. Little side bend, take about 2 to 3 breaths. Try to lengthen the right side body too. We don't wanna just bend and compress heavy. We wanna create a little bit more length to that right side body. Looks good. You're kind of making it your own, right? Big inhale, your pace. We're gonna come back to center, left hand, right wrist, big inhale. Notice that right palm turns to the left. Here's my lateral rotation. Nice exhale, get into your side body. Yeah, that looks good. This is classic yoga too, right? It's called, they call it crescent moon. One of the first main yoga poses in the standing sequences, okay? Let's get big inhale, let's reach up nice and tall. Let's exhale, forward fold over the legs. Plant those hands, walk your hands back, downward facing dog. Here's where we'll come into the chaturangas. We'll just do a few this evening. You're more than welcome to add them anytime you'd like. So down dog, nice big inhale. Nice big exhale. Now with your breath, right? A meditation to inhale forward, articulating our spine. Now bend those elbows halfway or all the way. Top of the feet turn down, big inhale. Pull the chest forward and up, activate the thighs, those glutes. Downward facing dog. Take a few more, yogis. Everyone in here I'm familiar with, and you know your body. Okay, big inhale, let's slowly round forward. Find that plank, nice big exhale. I like to count, right? Like 5, 4, so it slows me down. And then even up into that up dog, nice 5 count. And even back. So if you need a quick demo, I'll show you what I mean here. So I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Just to kind of have a consistent pace. Think of the sun salutation, right? It's like the sun, it's kind of moving at a consistent speed. The Earth's going around the sun at a consistent speed. And then, the sun salutation starts to take this consistency. It doesn't mean it has to be fast or slow. It just means consistent, like mindfulness. It can really show in like how erratic or versus consistent you are in your movements. So some days I move very slow. Some days I do move very fast. It just depends on how you're feeling. Now I'm gonna keep here going, guys. So we're gonna be back in down dog. All right, let's step our feet a little bit closer together. Let's start here with this big, nice active stretch. Inhale, right leg goes high. Just bend that knee and open up that hip. Take 3, 4 breaths. Try to soften the back of your neck, lift your left armpit. I know down dog itself can be such a challenging posture on the shoulders. You need to drop to the knees, no big deal. Okay, you want to put your hands on blocks, that makes it a little bit easier as well. Now let's keep going. Big inhale, right leg goes high. Nice and slow, let's shift over to plank, round knee to forehead. You're welcome to stay here a little bit extra. Do some of that extra core work from previous classes. Or let's meet, step our right foot forward. So let's find a nice mellow lunge here. Now, good idea to grab a couple blocks. If you're pretty tight here, guys, because I'm gonna have you do 2 movements. First one is more about that spinal twist. So I want a nice lunge. Don't forget you can drop your back knee down, or a nice sturdy lunge. Big inhale reaches the right arm out and up. I want you to twist from your core and lift that left thigh. Okay, big exhale, right arm kind of swoops down like a little micro dance. Big inhale, right arm goes out and up. Big exhale, right hand goes down. Now you want a little bit more. As I inhale, the right leg can kind of turn open, outer edge of right foot, even the outer edge of back foot, but be easy. That's not a soft variation. Exhale. So take about a good 3, 5 more. Again, make it intuitive, yogis. I like to give you a lot of direction and form in your body, but I don't want to express this idea of rigidness, like there's a right and a wrong space to be. Yes, there's beginner and there's more intermediate types movements. But I don't want to express that idea like this is right and this is wrong. Listen to your body, that insight, that wisdom of the self. Now listen, I'm going to keep going here, guys. So we're going to bring the right hand down and the back knee down. So this is a dynamic movement. Notice I crawled my left knee back. I don't want to be here. I want to use that left foot to crawl back, all right? So watch what I'm going to do if you're new. I'm going to inhale, drop the chest, drop the hips down, lift the chest. All right, yours might not look this deep, that's all right. And then what I'm going to do is keep my hands in my blocks to the floor, straighten that front leg and forward fold. And we're going to move through this, flexibility drill a few times. Nice big inhale. I'm going to press those feet down, lift the heart. Think of this like our back bend, left hip flexor, right glute. Big exhale, shift forward, forward fold, flex the front foot. Big hamstring stretch. Couple more times. Big inhale. Big exhale. Inhale. Again, now you kind of close your eyes and you make it your own. If you feel like you have to stop on the front part or the back part, that's great intuition, yogis. I don't want you guys to depend on me telling you exactly what to do. I want you to give you the space to develop your inner listening and intuition practice, all right? Intermediate yoga, by definition, is a self-practice. It doesn't have to do with how much of a gymnast you are, okay? Advanced yoga is just teaching it. Intermediate's doing that on your own, and beginners just being told what to do. It doesn't matter how fancy we get, all right? Now, when you're done here, guys, we're gonna slowly bend the front knee and tuck the back toes. We're gonna meet in high plank. Now, if you have it in you, we'll do a quick side plank, right? We do want to weight bear on those arms every class. So if you don't want to do side plank, you can drop your bottom knee, kind of turn the foot behind, and make this a little bit more of like a stretch. Okay, still lengthen your left side body, but if you're feeling up to it, heels to the left, right arm out and up slowly, just find a quick Vashista, side plank, top arm can reach forward. You know, again, think of it like maybe tonight, you had a long day, you do a quick one. Don't let it get too strenuous. But if you're feeling good, you go a little bit more into the strain. So that's different person to person, day to day, right? Okay, then you go slow, find that high plank position. Nice job, side plank, second side. Left arm go high. Yeah, some of you just drop that right knee. And then that right foot does want to angle. So if you need that demo, see how my right foot kind of turned behind me? And then I'm here for that knee down variation. You can even lift the leg if you want. Take a couple more breaths in our first side plank here. Nice, Alan. And you can do it in the, nice, DJ. You can do it in the on the forearm too, guys, if the wrist bothers you, right? Hard to beat side plank. You want to get strong, guys. Man, side plank will do that fast, but it will make you sore as well. So with that in mind, let's go back to high plank. Take a little vinyasa if you'd like. Anything else is welcome. Little handstand, little headstand. Quick child pose if needed. We'll meet back in down dog. Anytime you know you feel yourself getting a little too agitated, a little too stressed, the breath is getting very erratic or not aware, we suggest kind of slowing down, maybe dropping to the knees, taking a couple deep breaths. The breath shows the condition of the nervous system, right? So let's bring our feet closer together. Take a nice big inhale. Looks like you're all ready. Left leg goes to the sky. Let's open the hip now. Remember this, we all did this about, seems a while ago now. You're opening that hip, stretching through the front body. So this is a nice active stretch. Just lift your right armpit a little bit. Take 2 more breaths. Okay, big inhale. Let's keep it going. Left leg high. Lift your right heel. We're going to shift forward to plank. You're more than welcome to hold this, kind of like a second plank hold. Pull the knee up, pull the knee up. Eventually, step the left foot inside the left thumb. We start with that twisting movement. Okay, I saw a couple of you holding it too. That's cool. Notice I use my blocks. Inhale, left arm reaches out to the left. Open that chest. Exhale it down. Big inhale, out and open. Notice that breath. Q is first, so the breath is leading it, guiding it. By definition, you know, that's like Vinyasa Yoga or Kriya. This breath is leading the body through the movements. Looks good, guys. Yeah, some of you are starting to roll on the outer edge of that front foot, even the outer edge of the back foot. And I see a couple of you are starting to drop those hips so you can go a little further through the compound. And that's great. You know, don't be shy. You feel good, you push it. Yeah, so there's strength in this, but there's also flexibility through the range, through the movement, and that's called mobility, right? So I'm gonna keep going here. Looks like a couple of you are winding up there. Left hand's gonna go down. Now the back knee's gonna go down as well. Just make sure that back knee crawls back. Because we don't want like this, because, you know, notice, if I try to do this movement here, see how I'm squeezing the press hand. So the back knee wants to go back. So I'm not having you hold this tonight. Instead, nice big inhale. Let's lift that chest, drop those hips forward and down. Nice big exhale. Forward bend, straighten the front leg. Notice I'm pausing. I'm taking my time. Okay, nice inhale eventually. You're always not going to take like an extra breath here. And exhale, forward bend, straighten the front leg. The hips kind of shift back over the right knee. I also flex the front foot if you can't see there. Take a few more. I saw, I think 1 or 2 years you even like held split. You crawl the foot back, you go in big flexibility. That's a nice variation. Nice, DJ. Nice, Leslie. And those are 2 very just fundamental traditional yoga poses. Half pyramid or half splits with the anjana. Tell you got that tight psoas, so good here on this front part, and then you got the tight hamstring, so good on this back part, right? So little for all of us there. depending on your body right now, okay? I'm gonna meet back here up front. Let's put the hands on the floor, tuck the back toes. We're gonna do one more quick round of our side plank. I'd rather do this now, get it done, rather than do it later in class. Left foot's gonna eventually step back. So think of this now, you just kind of tighten it up. I saw a couple of you just kind of shake it out a little bit in between. Do that if you need. Okay, so I'm gonna just tighten my butt, my thighs, glutes, and then boom, side plank, right arm high. Okay, if you wanna go a little further, see how I keep the knees stacked? I just bend my top knee, right foot off my mat behind me, and I just kind of lift. It's like a side plank, you just gotta get a little bit more twist, a little bit more back bend there. And that's that wild thing pose, so it's like a flip plank, kind of like your flip dog. Nice. Yeah, the arm comes more behind you, right? Now, go slow, you come back to your side plank. Some of you are on the knee, hard to flip your dog there though. Okay, and we'll come back to high plank. Looks good, and we'll do one more round. So go to your side plank on your second side, second round. And again, you keep the knees stacked, but your top knee bends, and then you slowly twist the chest a little bit more to the sky. You'll feel that left foot find the floor off your mat behind you. Come on now, breathe. Nice, DJ. And some of us are really strong here. You try to stretch more. Some of us are working on that strength, really work on engaging, tightening. So this, the intention is very different person to person based on your conditions. You're super strong, you got to lighten up a little bit, a little looser. Okay, let's find our high plank, optional vinyasa chaturanga if you'd like, guys. So we're going to do a little bit more strengthening. We're going to do a little extra stretching tonight. But we still got a little bit more to go here. We'll do one quick standing round, and then we're going to be on the ground. One quick core exercise, and then it's going to be a good 15 minutes or so at least of stretching. All right, guys, so we're going to meet back in the down dog. Here's the opportunity if you do like to do stuff like this. I like to teach kind of hops or playful kind of childlike movements. We don't want yoga to be all too slow. So I need a nice easy way to start this, guys, is I walk my feet a little closer to my hands, and then I bend the knees. Look at this, just a little hop. It's just a little hop, and I softly catch the weight. If you don't want to do that, we're going to meet at the front of our mat. No big deal. But it is good that we, do a few things that are a little faster and kind of outside our comfort zone. Nice. Yeah, you don't have to jump high, guys. You just want to work on, the grace. Catching that weight, nice and quiet, not slamming those feet on the floor. Now, listen, guys, you're going to hop your feet forward, bend the knees. I'll keep moving on. I see a couple of you kind of taking a rest, so I'll keep moving. Let's rise up. Okay, take a moment. Shift your weight to your right foot. Hands can go on your hips to start, and left knee's going to lift. So the left knee about high as the left hip. You feel good. You can always lift it higher. A lot of times in power, I say lift it as high as possible. High as possible. All right, but some of us, you keep it down a little lower, easier on the psoas. Couple breaths here. If you want a little bit more for the arms, look how I bring my fingertips behind now. This is tough for a lot of us. All I'm asking you to do is keep your fingertips touching. So I'm not having you grip your hands. I'm saying, can you touch those fingertips behind you and keep them together? From there, you want to roll those shoulders back, maybe straighten the arms and reach the arms back more. A lot easier said than done. Now bend that standing knee. Bend that standing knee, guys. Shift the chest forward, shift the left leg back, find that warrior three. Short pose tonight. We're working strong poses, but in kind of a mellow way. Notice, yogis, that the left hip is going to want to lift because the left leg is lifting up. Try to drop that left hip down. All right? Now take your time. Bend your standing knee. Soft landing of the back foot at the back of your mat. Take a nice inhale. Rise up to your high lunge or warrior. Again, there's stretch and strength, right? So reach up with those arms, press those feet down. Okay, big inhale. Let's take it open to warrior two just for a few breaths this evening. Again, if you're strong in the poses, try to stretch a little bit more, okay? Be softer. If you're working on building strength, I need you to work on pressing those feet down, squeezing legs together, reaching those arms in opposites, pressing big toe and outer edges of the feet down, all right? So I'm gonna go right into triangle. We call this slow flow. A few breaths in each posture. We're gonna straighten our front leg, watch the back foot. It kind of inches a little bit closer. I would suggest a lot of us yogis have that block kind of inside the right toe. And you can even take your hands on your hips. Engage your legs. Let's drop our right hip down. Let's start to reach forward out over the leg and hinge. You know, finding your block. Nice active stretch here, guys. Engage those legs. Twist that chest to the sky. Nice deep breath here. Nice shoulder opener, can bring the left arm around the back, inside the right thigh. Just try to lean that upper body back, kind of over the front leg. And notice if you're overarching your back, pull your ribs in a little bit. So the right hip drives forward, okay? Triangle, such a fantastic posture, guys. Getting that gracilis and the semimembranosus, so it's the inner hamstring and the most posterior adductor, common place of a lot of tension through the knee, okay? Let's bend that front knee, let's rise up, let's think symmetry. I'm gonna turn those right toes in, find my nice straddle. Think of it like a standing vinyasa. Nice big inhale, let's lift the heart and the chest. Hips might go forward. And think of a little reset here, we're gonna forward fold. Okay, you can pull on the floor a little bit if it feels good here, guys. Okay, lean the weight to the toes a little bit. If any of us have any, you want to do a headstand or something, now is a good time. I'm going to leave those big poses out. We did a little handstand hop. That's a big pose. But again, good place to go upside down against the wall, or if you have one in the center of the room. Yeah, so usually in forward fold here, yogis, we do lean the weight into the toes. So I see some of you is what happens if you peek up that knee quickly. You lean the weight in the heels and see how the hips are like way back? More in the weight into the toes. So my hips are over my feet in space. I don't want the hips being back here, okay? More here. Now again, it's not really wrong, but just it's a tendency we do on a subconscious level. When you're done there, a quick hip mobility drill, yogis. We start out yogi squat. This is kind of like building on that. I'm just gonna bend that front knee and then bend that back knee. Okay, maybe just take a couple here, and I might want to take my blocks with me, and it's a little subtle bend side to side, little stretch, little strength. Just notice my knee, as it bends, goes out over the foot. It doesn't kind of buckle inward, all right? Good little thing to watch out for there. Nice, yeah, somebody's getting creative there. I love seeing that. And eventually you do it without your hands, but I wouldn't call that mellow yoga. Now listen, next time you bend that front knee, you can walk your hands to the front of your mat, kind of pivot into a lunge. All right, you can take that right leg, throw it back. You know, this is our last chance for vinyasa, or you could start those hops again. You step your feet a little closer since we went strong on those legs. And you do one more round of those fun, kind of playful, what we call fast twitch exercise. We know that fast movements stimulate different neural patterns. So like neurons are gonna function different in certain brain centers, and also different neurons start to connect to other ones. So finding a way to move a little bit fast in yoga, that's a good idea, okay? There's a lot of ways to do it, but this is a fun way. So listen, guys, next time you hop forward. Let's finish up our final standing round. Hands on the hips, let's rise right up. You know, I like to suggest a little squeezing of the glutes. That's kind of like a back bend. Hands can start on the hips, and here we go, right knee rises. Take just a couple breaths. Think of this as our tree pose in class. We're just lifting that leg. And try to feel your left hip. Drive through your left heel, lift your core so your left buttock turns up. If you like, fingertips touch behind you. So that's our back strengthener. My back muscles really have to turn on just to hold those fingers together. You roll the shoulders back, you work on straightening the arms and bringing the arms back, and then bend your standing knee. Slowly, let's find warrior three, just for a quick taste. Okay, so the chest comes down, the leg shoots back. Not too many balance postures tonight, so make it a good one here. Remember that right leg lifts, right? So let's take the hip with it. Drop the hip down. Looks good. Now you bend that standing knee, guys. You go slow, you lay on that right foot at the back of your mat. Just a couple of breaths here, and you're only warrior one of the evening. So remember, in warrior one, your back heel is sealed down, but the toes, they're not turned like out, they're turned more forward than they are to the side. And you press the big toe and the outer edges of the feet down, okay? Last 3 breaths. Okay, big inhale, no rush, right? Warrior 2 is next, you kind of open the hips. And for this one, you might have to slide your back foot back a little bit. You get more space because your hips are turned to the side, right? Also, your back toe is going to want to maybe open a little bit more. And I know a lot of teachers say foot parallel to the back of your mat. I would like you to have that barely turned in a little bit. Pronation, big toe down, safer for the knee. All right, so strong legs. Deep breath. Yogis, work hard here because we're just going to do this in triangle, and then we're going to do a straddle again. So get deeper in these short holds. You can go a little bit deeper than you would if you knew I was holding you for a while, okay? Think about stretching too here, because this will make those hips more flexible. Now go slow. We're going to straighten that front leg, walk that back foot in a little bit for most of us there. Got to adjust the footing a little bit. I might want that block inside my front foot, right? Now watch those hips. Front hip drops. Nothing changed except that hip tilt. And then I reach forward and I hinge. Okay? Hand on the block. Some of us even on the foot or the ankle. Lengthen your left side body. Engage your legs. Press your feet down. Your left hip drives forward. Your core twists up to the right. You relax your traps a little. Pull your ribs in. Top arm can swing around the back. A little nice light shoulder opener. Tell you, hard to beat triangles, right? You do the pyramid, you do open hip triangle and revolve. Man, you want to open your hips, it's tough. You try to find a few that are as good as those 3 together, all right? Now, let's take it slow, not too long of a hold. A little bend in that front knee, right arm back to the sky. Let's rise up. We're going to turn those toes and go for one more round here. Little inhale, lift from the heart center. Maybe hips even a little bit more forward. So think hip extension here. All right, I do want the hips basically to go forward slightly. So we don't want to compensate like this, guys. You see this a lot. Rather than that. Okay, big inhale. Take your time. Wait into the toes. Let's come forward, feet parallel. A little bit different option here, guys. If you want to try it, you can walk your hands over to a side, kind of stretching out the side body. Another fun option, if you want big flexibility, is to walk your hands forward, lengthen your spine. We call this straddle. Now, this is a big stretch, but you don't need to go too deep. You know, you just crawl your feet apart, keep your weight in your hands a little bit, engage those thighs, check the knee, and then you take a few breaths, you feel that inner thighs lighten up. And that is quite different than triangle. It's more of that adductor magnus, very medial inner thigh. Nice, Melly. Yeah, and you can come down to the forearms. You're getting good at your straddle. Basically, the lower your hips go, you know, the lower you can bring the upper body down via the arms. So, you know, eventually you get really flexible. You land your chest in the straddle, but I don't know. That's going to be another life for me, I think. So I don't have to worry about that. So listen, guys, if you'd like, let's meet back up in this kind of straddle. Headstand or stay as long as you'd like. And I'm just going to take one more of these little bends here, a little bit kind of smoother. You know, this seems like a simple exercise, guys, but it is quite challenging on the body, all right? Especially as you start to add more weight, okay? So you can see I'm kind of like lifting my hands up, putting it down, keeping my spine nice and long. And then no rush, guys. We're going to walk those hands forward. At the front of your mat, step back. Last vinyasa if you'd like. So I was thinking we'd do one just short core exercise. Tighten up those abs and symmetry. Boom, we'll start the stretching from there. All right? So I'll keep moving forward here, yogis. We're going to slowly swing our legs around. And it's funny, you know, even though this posture looks like a plank, it's going to get a lot more abdominal stimulation because you're going to work that pronation, that spinal flexion, posterior tilt. Okay. So I'm going to lay on my back here for my one abdominal exercise tonight. And I'm going to reach those arms forward and I'm going to lift the shoulder blades. Okay. If I want more, bring the right leg forward, lift the shoulder blades, lower back down. If I want even more, both legs go forward. Okay. We're going to work a little breath here. Okay. Smooth inhale, smooth exhale. I only want about like a 2/3 or 3/4 breath here. You don't need to go as deep as possible. Okay. If you'd like a little bit more, I can reach my legs up, little pop in the pelvis, so I get that reverse crunch. Okay, see that little pop in the pelvis? Ooh, that's gonna be good. Okay, little pop, slowly lower them. Exhale, little pop. Last few, if you'd like. If there's another abdominal type exercise you'd like to do, go hard for the last few moments because you will be stretching after this. All right. So go hard. You know, your abs can take a lot here, and with the reverse crunch, with the leg swing, you're getting those abs to fire really well. Just make sure you know the momentum on the leg swing down isn't kind of peeling your lower back arch. Lift those shoulder blades, press the abs down to keep that lower back down. Nice. Yeah, some of you guys are doing a little bit your own thing there, a little twist, a little crunch. Nice. All right, guys, so for the back bending here, I'm going to take it a little bit more towards stretching. So it looks like I'm, a couple of you are done with your abs already, a couple of you kind of winding up there. Start by just, taking the knees into the chest, little windshield like. This might feel good here after that. See how I let the knees knock side to side? And to start our hip stretching, let's do that nice immediately rotator. So my arms are going to go wide. My feet are going to go wide as my mat. You see that? Look how both knees knock to the right. Watch the right foot. Slowly goes on the outer left kind of knee area. Okay? Go slow. Big stretch. Just a few breaths this evening. Okay, big inhale, slowly release. What we want to look out for there is any pain in the knee. If there's pain in the inner knee, particularly, don't put the weight on there. Just kind of let those knees knock. So knees go left. Remember, guys, feet are pretty wide here. So that left foot going on the outer right knee creates that weight bearing. A lot of us, we're not used to this one. So be easy to start, slowly kind of melt, release into it. Just close your eyes, take a few breaths. All right, big inhale, guys. Now that's a big stretch. Just take a moment to kind of neutralize that. Might feel good to throw a little happy baby in the mix. A seasoned practitioner might go to plow pose. So, people taking a little softer, newer, you're kind of in happy baby. You're grabbing your ankles, maybe even your toe, your foot. You're kind of feeling out the space, banging and straightening. Say you're feeling good, you want to take it deeper. It's plow. And that reverse crunch is going to really help us develop the plow entry. So the arms push down by our side, that pelvic lift, and then the legs swing up and over. So just a few breaths, one of these two option positions. And if you're a happy baby, it is a little bit more active. So you're kind of pulling into those feet as you kick back into those hands. Your pelvis is going to want to lift. Your sacrum, try to roll the sacrum down a little bit. Your head's going to want to lift, try to bring the head back down. It's kind of a good general rule of thumb. If tension in the body pulls us into movement or space, you, in a sense, are working against that. It's not easy to see throughout the practice, but, anytime we're rounding the spine via the position, we work to kind of correct the posture. Or vice versa, you arch your back and take that arch out a little bit. All right, let's keep going, guys. Let's grab our hammies. Let's rock forward and back now. This is very therapeutic. try to, work on this. Don't just let it be kind of an in-between thing. Get good at massaging your back a little bit. Make it a nice little, I just got a little crack in my back there. Big exhale as I round forward, right? All right, guys, so we're gonna come up here nice and tall. So for this big back bend, it's not easy for everyone. It is the Virasana. If you can't do this, I'll show another option, but it is peak front body. If we want to do the triple chain, we got to bend our knees very deep. So camo could work, but you're not going to get that quadricep release. So let's try the Vira today, making your way a little bit more to the front of your mat. Let's try this one. Knees wide, big toes touch, and we sit on the heels. So you're going to get that ankle compression. That's already quite difficult. Some of us might want to take a block. Look at here. I kind of slide it between, my feet barely, sit on those sit bones, okay? Now, some of us can go a little further. Just watch my heels. See my heels? They don't roll out like that. You see that? I want to try to roll them up and under. So I'm kind of right on that front midline of the ankle, foot, and shin. Now, with practice, you're going to go backward. All right, but let's not force it. Here's where props come in handy, your blocks, your pillows. As you go back further, you kind of what you have to do, the heels can get stuck under the lower buttocks. And you gotta kind of bring them more to the posterior medial like buttocks. And then, with practice, you're on your forearms. And again, you might have to adjust how your buttocks relates to your heels. With more practice, my arms walk forward. This is one of our biggest stretches of class, guys. So, again, you don't have to go this far. It took me years to get here. I was teaching yoga already for years and I still couldn't do this well. So, be easy. With practice, you can kind of cross your forearms above your head. Your lower back's gonna arch. Let's take a few more breaths. Now, if you can't do that, guys, another nice way to do that, if you peek up at with me, is to land your chest, bring the right heel in, kind of squeeze your heel to your butt, but you gotta push your pubic bone down. The key is posterior tilt and knee flexion, hip extension. So it's that compensation I was mentioning. As I bend my heel to my butt, it's gonna maybe want my hips to slightly lift, right? Flexion. And it's also gonna wanna arch my lower back a little bit. So anterior tilt, you gotta work against that a little bit. You gotta drive that pubic bone. It's like your low frontal pubic bone down, okay? If you're doing one side, let's switch up sides. Last couple of breaths here. Yogis, if your back hurts from sitting, that's basically the stretch. It's a main one. It's before twisting. It's before lateral tilt and lateral flexion. It's knee flexion, hip extension, and posterior tilt. So it's that right there. I know from experience, yogis, my back pain will go away really fast from that. Not all cases, but it's a really good thing to know and remember. The femur bone goes back, the pelvic posterior tilts, and then you flex that knee. All right, let's get out of there, guys, and shake that out. So that is a compression stretch for the thighs. So I'm not going to teach compression stretch in the pigeon. If you want to do regular pigeon, that's fine. I'm going to teach soft variation this evening. Seated. So we're going to sit up nice and tall now and cross the shins. You're also welcome to stack your shins like our fire log posture. You're also more than welcome to lay in your back figure four or Gomukhasana. They're all kind of working in the space I'd like us to be in. So we're going to cross those shins. Just notice I flex the feet, yogis. I'm not like this, right? I want to cross those shins, guys. Okay? Nice big inhale. We're going to flex those feet, sit up. In the strong classes, I always say reach your arms up. So that's always an option. Start to hinge forward. Let's take a few breaths here. So yogis, after this, I got about, one last twist, maybe a chest shoulder opener, and then we're gonna pretty much call it a class. So if there's another stretch or two that is really just calling to you, it's okay to change it. You don't have to do these exact stretches. Use this time to give your body what it needs. All right, now take your time, right? Because this is a bilateral stretch, so both hips stretch twice. So you kind of lean back and shake that out a little bit. And then you do your second side. So left shin in front of right. Again, I do want to cross the shins as opposed to my ankles. I want to flex my feet. If I were to look down, it's like a triangle, my right calf, my inner thighs. So in a sense, I'm not like, my feet are under me, closing that like hole there. I kind of have those shins more parallel to the front of my mat. Okay, big inhale. Let's sit up with those sit bones down. We're going to take it forward nice and slow here. Some of you are doing your, fire log, stack the shins. A couple of you we're doing thread the needle. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths here into that tightness. Relax a little bit more. And then what you're going to do is just shake that out. Take a moment here. And what you do is you neutralize the sensation. So you shake that out. I'm going to come around, back down to my chest. We got time. We'll do that big, my favorite shoulder opener is where we bring the arm back. So think horizontal abduction. Remember that our arms are always in front of us. So it's good to think, like, what should I stretch? It's my most habitual patterns is a good kind of thing to remember. If the arms are always in front of us, that's going to tighten up that pec major. It's going to keep these muscles lengthened. You're going to get that protraction and medial rotation in that kind of line. So it's good to have that stretch with the arms coming back. So a good way to do that, guys, is to lay on your chest and reach your right arm out. Now look at that arm, right? It's not down, it's not up, it's right out to the side. Look at those fingers spread, okay? If you want more, you bend the arm 90 degrees, but either way, the elbow is about as high as that shoulder. Regulars, you know this, we do this all the time. Right arm out, push through your left hand, big chest stretch. Notice my hips readjust, my left foot can reach behind me. I'm supporting myself with my left hand, pushing a little, and I rest my head down. How deep can you breathe, yogis? A lot of times when we're looking at soreness in the body, it's very common in that upper back between our shoulder blades and our spine, near that rhomboid and trap area, we're getting all those knots, right? Those trigger points, and we're always kind of focusing on that area, like you're massaging it and you're working it, but then we tend to forget that a lot of times it's the antagonist imbalance. So antagonist means, in the sense, the muscle that stabilizes the other side. If you think of muscles like pulleys, let's say you have one on both sides and one side's being worked too much and strained too much, it can actually cause the other side to hurt a lot. It gets too weak, it gets too stuck long, it's called. You get the muscle cording. A lot of conditions can happen there. So what we're doing is helping that pec major to release because of its, shortening tendencies. It's going to help relieve a lot of pain and actually in the back. Okay, let's go to our chest, guys, and do our second side, please. So you reach your left arm out. Some of you did this. It's a 90-degree angle. That's going to include more rotator cuff. It's also going to get a little bit more of what's called like your ascending, the lower pec major. All right, it's going to get the shoulder different. Remember, pec major, it's a very complex muscle. But in general, we'll arm out, maybe bend it if you want more. Close your eyes, guys. Enjoy it. Remember the directional breathing. So as we're stretching the chest, more of a chest breath. All right, I know I do talk a lot about that belly breath to get that vagus nerve. But when we're stretching up in that upper, like collarbone, pec major, shoulder, lat, you want to get that breath to come up into the upper thoracic cavity a little bit more. And that's going to help, in a sense, get it from the inside. All right, guys. So what I'd like you to do is finish that up. No rush. We're going to just simply roll onto our back. And, we didn't really do a deep twist. Might be a good idea to do one here on your back. So we can meet with the knees into the chest. If there's any last stretch you want to do, restore to bridge, put your legs up, do that now. All right. Hips left and knees right. We're just going to reach that right arm out. If you want a bigger variation, you could take one knee across. So final stretch option in the class here, guys. Try to get, look to the right. So we do stretch the neck a little bit here. Nice deep breath. And that is a big stretch right there. All right. You're going to finish up that side. No rush. We'll meet back in center and do our second side. Yeah, so if your left knee goes across to the right, you scoot your hips a little. Whatever knee comes into the chest, and most of you just doing single leg there, you kind of scoot your hips to that side just to keep that nice, good posture here. We want to keep training our consciousness to be more aware of our posture. I remember it was years ago when I was in posture analysis class. My goodness, posture can put years on your life or take it off. It can also really change your energy. People with chronic kind of rounding of posture, particularly in like the hyperkyphosis, rounding of the upper body, really like slows down a lot of things in the endocrine system. It changes how our chemical body works. It's important that we always keep that in mind as we're, let's say, redesigning our body in these classes, or just in life in general. We're always having that person inside saying, "God, stand up tall," right? That's not hunch. I remember reading how it really changes our digestion too, and the formation of our brain. Certain brain centers kind of deteriorate more, based on posture. So, and there's even more science to all that stuff. So just some food for thought as we end class here, that posture is the priority. All right, guys, so we're gonna give our knees in this one last squeeze. We'll meet on our back here. Give it one last squeeze. How about we say about just 2 to 3 minutes, quick Shavasana. So you just take a comfortable position. We did a lot tonight, all right? So you just want to unwind, slow your heart rate, calm your nerves, relax your eyes, your breath. Think little action, right? So no fidgeting, no stretching or anything like that. You just chill out. You practice conscious relaxation. If you need one more breath, you do it. Maybe a sigh, but then the lungs relax. And you let your bones get heavy. And you let your body rest. Final pose here.